Hi, my name is Debbie Kravitsky. I'm a clinical dietitian here at Mass General Hospital's Cardiovascular Disease Prevention Center. Often, particularly after a heart event, people will come up to me and say, I don't eat out anymore. Well, let me tell you, you can eat out, and you can do so without compromising your goals if you're armed with nutrition knowledge and a heightened sense of awareness. And as with all of this, it starts with pre-planning. So I want you to take a look, if you have an idea where you'll be dining out, and looking on the web. Utilize the web. It's a tremendous resource for you, as most restaurants do post their menu on the web. We also have a restaurant law in Massachusetts. 20 or more restaurants in the chain, they have to, by law, at point of service, provide you with the nutrition breakdown of that menu item. Keeping in mind two notes. One, it's not regulated. So there's a group called Nutrition for Science and the Public Interest. They went around to different restaurants, they ordered items off their menu. They brought these items to their independent lab. They wanted to see what were the restaurants reporting to be the nutrition breakdown versus what did their lab find to be the case. And surprise, surprise, lo and behold, these restaurants were severely underreporting what was in these menu items. However, it's more information than we ever had. If you see something and you say, oh my goodness, I had no idea it had so many calories or what have you, it's probably a lot worse, but it still gets you to the same line that perhaps it wasn't a good choice for you. Also, it doesn't include condiments. The slice of cheese in your sandwich, the dressing on your salad, none of these are factored in. If you go to certain restaurants like Ruth Chris, they often will put a pat of butter on your steak before bringing it to you. Will not be factored in. So you need to take these into account so you have a realistic assessment of what it is you're eating when you're dining out or when you're ordering in. Take a look and think, what is it that you would want? If I was your server, what would you want to know about what's in that menu item? Wouldn't you want to ask me about fat? Of course you would, because you would want to know what type of fat was used in the preparation of this dish. The fats that we're looking to limit, they're called saturated fats. We get saturated fats from meats. So if a dish is made with steak or with ground hamburger, perhaps you switch it to ground chicken or turkey, or with a chicken breast instead of a steak, or fish perhaps. Keeping also in mind that if you're ordering ground chicken and ground turkey in a restaurant, most likely it's a full fat ground chicken or ground turkey, so you might want to consider getting a grilled chicken breast or sliced turkey. You also take advantage of including fish. I know many people who say to me that the only time they get fish is when they order out. So I suggest you to make fish at home. It's so easy to do. Saturated fats include anything with the word cream. So sweet cream, sour cream, whipped cream, ice cream, cream cheese, half and half. For this grouping, you'll want to go fat-free or make substitutions. If something's made with cream, maybe they have a skim milk that you can put in. If they have butter, maybe they could cook your dish in oil. So you just can't ask enough. If you're surprised when something comes to you or a dish is delivered to you and you say, oh, I had no idea it came with or it had this gravy or what have you, it's actually your fault. You didn't ask enough questions. So definitely send it back because you want to have the experience you were hoping to have. But learn to ask. Walk your server through the preparation of this dish every step of the way so that you'll get exactly what you want and what you think you're ordering. Make sure you ask for saturated fats. We're going to find these with butter, we're going to find them with whole milk, and we're going to find them with cheese. So if it's made with cheese, maybe they could just hold off and leave the cheese out. These are places for you to make modifications so you can reduce your intake of saturated fat. Next, you're going to ask about salt. This is actually where most of us get the most salt, is from dining out, also from processed food. Remember, you're going to know a food is high in salt if the following words are used to describe your menu item. Remember the acronym SKIP, S-C-I-P. So it's SKIP with a C instead of a K. The S is for smoked. So if it's smoked salmon, maybe you ask them to substitute poached salmon or broiled salmon or raw salmon or grilled salmon. If it's turkey, smoked turkey, maybe they'll have regular turkey, baked turkey. And if it's smoked almonds, maybe they just have roasted almonds. Next would be C, cured. So look at the pickles. If pickles are in the dish, ask them not to bring them to you. You make sure that you set yourself up for success also in a restaurant by telling the server exactly what to bring you. So if we eat when foods are accessible, so you want to make sure that you have only what you want to have in front of you. The C is for not only pickles, but it would also be for olives. Black olives will be fine, but green olives are soaked in a brine. Green are too high in salt. Don't confuse black olives, by the way, with Kalamata olives, because Kalamata olives are high in salt. It would be, think about how are people preparing your food. Is it with soy sauce? That you'd want to hold off, because soy sauce, even low sodium soy sauce, is too high. The I is for instant. So think about, how are they preparing this dish in your restaurant? Is it an instant mashed potato mix? Because that most certainly will be high in salt. Is it an instant pasta mix? And think about, how is it that they're preparing it, particularly if you're at a fast food restaurant. So if you think about for fast food restaurants, foods have to be prepared quickly. If you're getting, for example, a shake at McDonald's, do you think that they're scooping the ice cream, pouring the milk? No, it has to be an instant mix, because it's a fast food restaurant, has to be fast. 3/4 of their business is done in the drive-through. So criteria for inclusion on their menu is you need to be able to take the order, prep the meal, package it, cook it, package it, serve it in under a minute. So this is an instant mix. So while you may think of a milkshake as high in sugar perhaps, and maybe fat, this is also high in salt. Same thing, if you go out to a restaurant and you get a hot chocolate, do you think they're melting the chocolate, heating the milk? They just don't have time for that. It's an instant hot chocolate mix. So while you may think of hot chocolate as high in sugar and fat, it's also high in salt. So think about all the different places where salt will be, and if they do list the sodium, because it's part of the restaurant chain. Remember, 140 is low sodium. You can go 140 to 200 milligrams in a serving. You might be shocked at how much salt is in some of your food. The other item that you want to ask your server about is the carbohydrate choice. You're looking to include foods high in fiber and preferably also whole grain. So if white rice is on the menu, maybe you ask them if they have brown rice. That would be a great choice. If they don't have brown rice, still substitute that white rice with maybe a baked potato or a sweet potato. Both are good choices. Make sure you eat the skin. You're looking for fiber, and fiber is your friend. A great way to order your meal is to rate your plate. So fill half your plate with double the vegetables. Make sure you have at least the size of your fist protein, and then the last quadrant of your plate could be this whole grain or high fiber starch, such as either the brown rice or the potato or corn or perhaps a winter squash or dried beans and lentils. That's exactly how your plate should look. It will save you hundreds of calories if you rearrange your plate in this way. You also want to ask your server about the portion size, because this will impact the calories that you're getting. So when you ask your server, some servers don't know the portion size. That's okay. Send them into the kitchen. You're going to make them a more educated server, because if you ask this question now, chances are they're going to get this question again down the line. Every kitchen in a restaurant has a food scale. It's part of their food costs. So go ask them, because in the kitchen they definitely have that answer. If they return and that server tells you, oh, it's a 42-ounce whatever, that's okay. Say to them, I understand. I'll pay for the meal. Could you please bring me 6 ounces or 4 ounces or 8 ounces, whatever you want, because you're setting yourself up for success. We eat when foods are accessible. Has this not happened to you, that you're eating, you start to feel full, but you stay and you talk, you go to get up a little while later and you say, oh my gosh, I can't believe I ate the whole thing. You ate it because it was there. This way you don't make it a test of willpower. You have just what you need, and you have dinners for when you get home during the week. How nice is that? So make sure you set your plate that you have it exactly what you want. Have half your plate vegetables, the non-starchy vegetables, such as broccoli or asparagus or cauliflower, green beans, spinach, lettuce, tomato, cucumber, celery, onions. fill half your plate with these non-starchy vegetables. Have the size of your fist protein, fish or chicken or turkey. It can be bigger than your fist, but at least that. And have the last quadrant of your plate a whole grain or high fiber starch, such as brown rice or a baked potato or winter squashes or dried beans and lentils. That would be the last quadrant of your plate. So you can definitely go out to eat. It will definitely requiring some tweaking of the menu. I asked my husband, would you say 8 out of 10 times I tweak the menu? And he said, seriously, Deb, I'd say 12 out of 10. But you want to leave this restaurant having the experience that you were hoping to have. You want to not compromise your goals in any way. So practice by pre-planning your meal. You can also visualize you going to this restaurant, having the experience you wanted to have, leaving this restaurant feeling fabulous, that you were able to go and you were able to stay on track and it was delicious and felt even better afterwards. And also be confident in your food choices. We tend to model our eating around the people we're with. So if you go out to eat with the order everything, eat everything person, it's just too easy to say, oh, all right, I'll get whatever she is having. Don't do it. Be confident in who you are. Be confident that you're making the right choices. One of my favorites is Marlo Thomas, the actress. She went around to different people and she asked them, who said what to you that made a difference in your life? And her story was that right before she went to go out on stage for the very first time, there was a lot of rumblings. Would she be good? Would she be anywhere nearly as talented as her famous father, Danny Thomas? And right before the stress was enormous, but right before she went to go out on stage, there was a knock at her dressing room door. It was a white box with a beautiful big red bow, and it was from her father. Inside the box was a pair of horse blinders, and it read, with a card that read, run your own race. It's exactly what I want for you. You know what you have to do to stay healthy. So run your own race. It's good for food, it's good for life. Do what you know is right for you to keep you on your right track and to help you to reach your goals. Definitely go out to eat, enjoy, but make sure that you don't compromise your goals in any way. Apply your knowledge of nutrition and you will be totally fine.